Good morning, everyone. I hope you are well. I don't know if any of you were able to join us for a fascinating, rather controversial discussion last night with the dignity of difference with Rabbi Fried and myself. It was very, very interesting, intriguing. So we move on, or we continue, and today's learning is dedicated in memory of Leah Bas Feivel, Rabbi Yaakov Tzvi ben David Aryeh, Tzivi Bas Mordechai, Avram ben David Slavin, Tzipora Feikel Bas Ruben Baruch, Shana ben Eli, Ben Bas Feivel, from Shoshana Bas Yaakov, Shmuel, Caleb, Bela Bas Henach, Yirmiyahu, Chia ben Moshe Eliezer, Sarah Malka Bas ben Yomin, Shlomo Yechia ben Moshe ben Yeshua Levi, Avram Mordechai ben Moshe, and sadly, I have to add the name Benjamin Akiva ben Shlomo, Benji Steinbock, who I grew up with, and tragically, that was snatched away from us far too young. I think he was 50, so it shook all of us. And clearly, the COVID pandemic and the mental health issues are having a devastating impact. We're thinking of all the family, sending them our best wishes and much love. So we continue today on Ethics of the Fathers, Chapter 1, Mishnah Zion. The Mishnah says as follows: Nitai Harbeli Omer. Nitai, the Harbeli used to say, Hachek mishachein ra. One should distance oneself from a shachein ra, shachein being a neighbor, so a wicked or an evil neighbor. Va'al tischaber l'rasha, and you shouldn't attach yourself to a wicked person. Va'al tisyash min haporanus, and you should not give up hope to the punishment, the eventual retribution. Let's understand these three statements and try and understand the connection. So the first statement that we have this morning, good morning to Michael, Rachel, Richard, Caroline, Estelle, Michael again, Harry, Michelle, and everyone else who are still joining us. The first statement that we've learned is that you're meant to distance yourself from a shachein ra, an evil neighbor. You know, we are influenced. Judaism has a basic belief, and that is that there's nature and nurture, and inevitably the environment in which we find ourselves is going to have an impact positively or negatively on us and on our families. So if you surround yourselves with good people, then it's going to lift you up. And if you surround yourselves with the wrong type of people, then it will pull you down. So the first statement that is being said this morning is that obviously those which are closest to you in proximity and in influence are going to have the greatest impact on you. And especially in days gone by where your neighbors were living on top of you, so therefore they would have a key impact and influence on your life. So if you had somebody who was doing the wrong thing, who was setting the wrong example to your family, to your kids, then that would be the wrong environment to put yourselves. We are not meant to put ourselves in compromising situations. We're not meant to test ourselves. So the Talmud tells us of an example of where you have a person who was walking he had two paths in front of him, the Gemara above Basra, and one path goes past a lake where there would be women bathing or doing their washing, whatever it was, they would be immodestly clad, and the other path is a longer path, but it avoided the river. And there was this guy, and the Gemara tells us that he went on his way and he decided to take the shortcut past the river, and he closed his eyes the whole way so he didn't see anything, okay? Or he averted his gaze. And the Gemara tells us that this person, even though he did not transgress, he did not compromise his standards in any way, yet he is considered a Rosha, a wicked person. And the question is, well, he did nothing wrong, surely. And the answer is that where you put yourself in a compromising position and situation, where you put yourself in a situation where you are going to test yourself in a position of ordeal or trial, that is something that in itself is wrong. So therefore, That's why we want to ensure that we put ourselves and our families in the best position. And therefore, this will explain why, in times of our history where we had a choice, of course, during the ghettos, there were times where we had no choice and we were next to Jewish people and we didn't have outside influences, the negative outside influences, because we were ghettoized, we were forced to live apart. But even after the Enlightenment, there were many that made a conscious decision to stay living with their own, to those that have the shared values, Jewish people, right? But it also means, I think there is another idea, and I'm not saying that we need to live an insular lifestyle, right? I think that we can live, and we do live, amongst a very mixed, multicultural society. And I think we can, as we mentioned last night, we gain so much from different people, different cultures, different lifestyles. And if we're strong in our own, then we shouldn't detract, it should enhance. But that having been said, where we are talking about a bad influences and a bad neighbor, I think we have to look at the beyond the Mishnah. The Mishnah speaks, in simplistic terms for that particular period of time, but applying it to our generation. So the question is, where are we living? What's surrounding us? What are the influences? Well, for our kids and grandkids, the neighbors of our kids is the internet. There is no question about it. Be it TikTok, Snapchat, I don't know, Facebook, whatever you want. Facebook is from an older generation. I'm showing my age. But if you look at going to certain social media sites, it influences them and poses a real danger. And I think that many years ago, and one of the things that I feel very strongly about is what has happened as a result of the breaches in the COVID guidelines and rules, is that there has been a backlash with quite an aggressive backlash against the Stamford Hill Haredi community. And let me make it quite clear, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I condemn in the strongest possible terms. I think it is an absolute disgrace, the fact that they have brazenly broken the rules of COVID. But that having been said, I think that there is firstly a danger of us labeling, stereotyping. I don't think stigmatizing. It's not going to help. It's not going to move things forward, as we discussed last night. You can listen to it there. But one of the things that was said when the internet came out is those that live in more insular communities, such as Stamford Hill, such as Bnei Brak, such as in Yerushalayim, in Mea She'arim, and other places, the rabbis there said that the internet poses the greatest danger. Don't go there. Nobody listened. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't go there. But what I am saying is the dangers that they saw with their vision have become manifest tenfold, if not more. Our kids can be sitting in the most beautiful homes with Jewish values, and yet they can be living in the biggest schmutz upstairs. In Vegas, they can be going to the darkest of places, mixing with the wrong types of people. And therefore, I think that is that is the application of one of the things that we are saying in our Mishnah. Do any of us know? Do we put any filters on anything in our house? We do. I spend a lot of money because of the dangers, putting filters on all my devices so that when my kids pick them up, as best as I can protect them the same way I would protect them and wouldn't allow them to go anywhere and everywhere or to mix with anyone and everyone. We have to ensure that the neighbors, which is the internet, which is the outside world, we protect our kids from the virtual dangers of the world, and also just mixing on and chatting with people, complete strangers, people that could, God forbid, could take advantage of our kids. So that, I think, is one of the applications of that. We're meant to distance ourselves from a bad neighbor. But it's Chabela Rasha. You're not meant to cleave, to connect with a wicked person. We are meant to have clear boundaries. Now, boundaries are very out of fashion. Trust yourself, believe in yourself. You don't need boundaries, right? Never has it been more necessary for us to have very clear delineated boundaries so we and our families know where we stand. And sometimes if means breaking away or creating a distance between us and somebody that is a very clear bad influence, then that is what we need to do. It's very upsetting in society when we see that the good seem to suffer and the wicked seem to prosper, right? The old adage, why do the wicked suffer? Why do the righteous why do the wicked why do the wicked prosper? Why do the righteous suffer? And the answer is that we in this world are never going to understand from our vantage point. But we should not give up, and this is what the mission is saying, from the concept that the yesh dan, the yesh dayan, yesh din, yesh dayan. There is a judge, and there will be a judgment. That there is a corollary, there are repercussions, there will be a judgment and a retribution for those that behave in an unbecoming or they do the wrong thing in life. The wicked get their comeuppance. It may not be right now, it may not be in front of our eyes, but that doesn't mean that they don't get it. And therefore, a person could turn around to themselves. This is what the mission is saying, and say to themselves, "What's the point? It doesn't make a difference. Let's live with relative truth. There's no point in me accepting the Torah values, the Jewish values. I'm going to throw it away because I don't see that there is a corollary between good behavior and reward, bad behavior and punishment." Well, the answer to that conundrum is quite simple. That judgment doesn't happen in this world. It happens in the next world. Somebody once said, I have a lot of questions against God. Why does he allow this to happen? Why did the Holocaust happen? He said, but you know what? A wise man, he said, I'm not ready to go upstairs to get the answers. The answers aren't down here. With the questions we have here, the answers are upstairs. And he said, I'm willing to wait my time and have to live with a question rather than be called upstairs to get the answers. So do I understand everything? No. But the fact is, one of the basic tenets in our faith is the idea of reward and punishment. That everything is being judged, that the cosmic camera is running, and therefore we have to accept that ultimately there will be a judgment. And with that, therefore, we understand that there should be a difference between right and wrong, good and evil in our lives and in those around us. That is what this mission is saying. We're going to pause there for today. And we'll continue, please God, on Sunday at 9:30. So Mishnah continues. Please, everyone, join us this Monday. Somebody I've known for a long time and is one of the great Jewish impactors. The series is called Jewish Impact. It's 8:00 on Monday nights. And this week we're looking at Shimon Cohen. And he is one of the unsung heroes in the Jewish community in terms of Shechita, Brit Milah, many a battle he fights and has fought across Europe to try to explain to the outside world and to those that would wish us to give up basic Jewish rituals and practices. And he has been there as a light and a beacon of understanding to explain to the outside world. And we look forward to hearing from him about his incredible work and about what makes him tick and become and contribute so much. So now we continue with Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even as I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Memorial prayer. Adon Olamim Zechoes Nishmois Ben Yomen Akiva Ben Shlomo Lebas Five Rav Yaakov Ben David Aryeh Tzivi Bas Mordechai Avram Ben David Slavin Sipar Vegeles Ruben Baruch Shalom Ben Yareli Ben Bas Five for Moshe Chanash Bas Yaakov Shmuel Caleb Ben Bas Henach Yom Yochia Ben Moshe Eliezer Sar Malka Bas Ben Yamin Shlomo Yechia Ben Moshe Ben Yeshua Levi Avram Mordechai Ben Moshe. And the yacht sites for today: David Ben Morris Gordon, Rachel Bas Emmanuel Hyams, Leah Bas Rebbe Chonan Berger, Mordechai Ben Abraham Shalchul Yelamam Bagalene Taimanu Chosam Lachim Belarachamim Yasrim Sesakana Fabia Lamim Yesus Chatish Wasabana Naklasam Yanuch Bishlomish Kavam Benamar Amen. We also wish long life today to the Elton family. Sadly, they've lost two parents in a matter of 2 weeks. It's, from COVID, it's absolutely shocking, devastating news, tragic news, and our thoughts and prayers are with them, along with everyone else who is saying Kaddish or would be saying Kaddish today. Lastly, Refuah Shlema prayer. Misha Beirach, Avaseinu Avram Yitzchak Yaakov, Moshe Aaron, David Shlomo Yivarach Rapesa Chaylim. Bavo Shanu Mispalem, Bavo Ram, Bischas HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimale Rachim Aleihem, Lachem Alaposam, Yishlach Lem Fushvun Shemaim Lacholevem Besoch Shachol Yisrael, Refuah Sanefesh, Refuah Sagov, Hashavos Margaret and Amar, Amen. Wishing everyone well. Keep safe, keep well. Burst of inspiration, 8:30 tonight. Please encourage people to come along in the morning. It's only 15 minutes. Look forward to seeing you for Kabbalah. Burst of inspiration, 8:30 tonight. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, Kabbalah Shabbat. And then we're looking forward 9:30 on Sunday morning. Take care. All the best. Have a great day.